G'day, g'day. Welcome back to Ender's Game. Just before we get into the recap, I wanted to say a few words. I had some feedback on the last one that it was a little too long, and so I've cut this one down quite a bit and just sort of streamlined what you see. So hopefully that's a little nicer to watch, makes the flow a little better. Let me know what you guys think. If you want me to include some more bits or dive deeper into certain things, write a comment and we can look at that for the next one. I got a bunch of streams that I'm recapping and some other videos in the pipeline. I did manage to forget to do an entire listen through of the track at the end of the stream, so you'll just have to get it in bits, and there is a third stream of this song that you'll get like the whole demo version of after that. So let's get into it. Good morning. Or good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Ender's Game. Today we're doing some more production, picking up on last week's song. Probably gonna work on some production and some arrangement, kind of get the song into bits, because we basically just did the first chorus, up to the first chorus kind of thing. I have actually worked a little bit more on the top line, just sort of like in the back of my head being like, yo, alright, this is pretty good. Let's fix this, fix that. So the other thing that I've done, as you can see here, I've recorded some guitars as well. I sat down and, if you've seen on my Insta story, recorded some groovy guitars for this. There's 2 takes of each one because I set it up with 2 microphones, one Neumann TLM 103 and a JJ Labs, sort of like it's a small condenser. Really nice sound on both of them. I can't remember the model number of the JJ Labs. I can use both if I want and sort of pan them, which is what I've done here. If you listen to, let's take this one for instance. So they're the same take, but just different mics. So they have a slightly different sound. But what we could do here is we could do like -3 there and 7 there. So this is the delay function in Ableton, which is heavily underrated. I use it all the time. You need to press on this little D down here to get it up. You need to press on the D to get it up. And then you get a bit more of a stereo wash. Ooh, that's a lot of noise there. Wow. This is why we edit. This is what post-production is for. This should be... The other thing is that I actually named all of these wrong. I had them wired the way that I thought they weren't in the inputs, so that all of the JJ labels are actually the TLM, which is kind of funny. I really like this guitar. I think I'm going to build the bridge sort of around like a breakdown. Recently did a song with Tundiwe, one of my classmates. We did a song together called Sandingen. It came out maybe last month or so. We're working on her next song and it's got this breakdown where it just cuts to just the 4 on the floor and the bass line in this case, but super, super good. So I think we can do something similar like that here and just like a boom, it's real simple, but real effective. So this sounds like this. All of these guitars, I only took one guitar with me to the studio that day, but they're all that Telecaster that you can see there. Wait, that Telecaster that you can see there. It's got a humbucker in it, but it's got coil splitter. So I used pretty much all single coils for everything in this, I think, except maybe this choppy I used the humbucker. But just real good sounds, sort of exactly what you want for a song like this, that kind of funky vibe. Super nice. And I put a simpler version of the rhythm just for the verse. We can put that in the second half of the verse or something, just give it a bit of variation. So we'll call that dist chorus. Way! Or we'll just play everything. Oh, I hate when this happens. And all of the bloody things change to one size. I don't know what hotkey that is, but sometimes it happens when I'm trying to type something in. I'll fix it later. Cool. Alright, fixed, sorted, nice. One hotkey that I do know is Option U. And what that does is it opens up every track or closes every track. It's just good if you've got a few different clips open and you just want to like compress it in. And then what's this? This is like a right. I ripped it off from Kiss, so let's call it Kiss Kit. Not Kiss the band, Kiss the song by Prince. So what I like about our chord progression is that we use the parallels. So use F sharp, G. I should plug in my keyboard as well. I'll do that later. F sharp, G, A, B. And so the F sharp and the A are parallels, and the G and the B are parallels. And so what that allows you to do is this, right? So they're the same 2 chords. But if you put the bass under it, the bass note changes. And so you kind of get this real like stability from that guitar, which plays just basically A, B minor 7, A, B minor 7. But the bass note changes and just gives it a bit of movement. Cool, so let's start cleaning these up. Cool. Oh, that's nice. That's really good. Now I'm actually going to mute this choppy one right now because I want that for, I think I want that for the outro. So I wanted a little intro, like a little intro. And then I'm pretty sure I'll have a little, maybe even a fade out. What I'm going to do here as well on these ones, just to give it a little more tightness, I usually go in and just quantize these. So I like to do 81%. The guitars really add a sense of like nature or naturality, that's not a word, to the whole track. I'll have to go in and fiddle with this, time it and stuff, but it just helps like lock it to the grid a little more because we're using, like if we're using synths and we're using stuff that like plays at exact points in a grid, it's nice to just have it a little closer. If I was playing in a band or mixing like a band situation with this, I would do it very differently, and I probably wouldn't have as many hard cuts and wouldn't need to be as perfect to the grid. What I might do actually is actually just find a good sort of 4 bars of this and then just loop that. So now we have, let's try that. That sounded pretty good to me. So let's copy them over. Should be the right spot, yep. So now I'm in an interesting spot where I don't like the natural sounds that I left in on the guitars. So I'm going to hard cut these. It's very minimal difference, but I do think overall that this is better. So let's keep that. Also, something this song needs that we haven't put in yet is cowbell, but we'll get there. Also, here's a mistake I make all the time. Because it's the first option, I always click just to external out there, but you actually don't want that. You want to make sure it goes to the master, because I've had bounces where I've accidentally sent something, like rerouted it back from the sidechain to like wanting it to go to the master, and it goes to the external out just because it's first on the list and you just kind of autopilot. And that's a bit of a laugh because then you bounce it out later and you're like, where's my bass? Or, you know, where's my keys? And they're just, it's not there. So let's have a listen to this. This will go on the other side to that. They sort of complement each other. If we do this, they're like in the opposite rhythmic sections. Imagine you've got like a little puzzle and you've got, here's where this guitar plays, but it doesn't play here. So what do we put here? You put that one there. This first section is the best. So I'm just going to be real cheeky and loop that. I think it doesn't need much more than maybe like a bow down, something like that. And then I reckon the way to go is out of the post, have another verse here, probably just a half verse unless you want like a variation, and then the pre-chorus, smack bang back into the chorus. Oh, and the other cool thing is we can add this in around all the place, so we can have it like here. Very good. Chuck it in there as well. So we're up to our second chorus here, and I'm not sure what are we up to time-wise. Wow, this is a long song. I'm really unsure about the length of this verse. This first verse. I think it might be just straight up too long, but we'll have a look. Because we're already at 2:30, somewhere between 2:30 and 2:40. So I reckon this is where I want to hit the bridge, and I'm thinking just this. And this is where I want to have, and just groove on that, build it back up, come back into a last chorus, and then the outro with the. I love the way that a single coil with so much compression just like kind of smacks And just like that's good. That's got a good vibe. This makes me happy. This is where we start our fade out. Because fade outs rule. Hey. There's just something about a fade out. Makes you feel good. Let's build this little intro, I reckon. Let's find a vocal atmosphere and maybe just have a little, make it real like atmospheric at the start, I think would be good. I think that would be really nice actually. Just build it on that. And then we'll just fiddle with this a little bit. Yep, that works super. And then just hard cut this out. Cool, so let's freeze that down and we'll look for a vocal effect. Are you winning, son? Let's do a bit of this. This is always good. Yep, I think this can be really cool, but we got to get a little drum fill in there as well. This is something we can do that's pretty cool, is overdrive after a reverb. And so what it does is it kind of just fucks the entire signal, but it takes the reverb sound and just smashes it to the ceiling. And you can get some really good feedback effects from that. So what I'm going to do here is just mix that in right at the end. And then if I hard cut that, you get like a little kind of riser out of it. But the cool thing is that you get a riser that's like contextual to the song, not just a whoosh, which is also good. But this just adds a little bit of a different character. But I am going to put an overdrive before as well. Maybe if I cut it into a silence. Maybe it's just not long enough. Maybe that's the whole problem. Maybe I need it twice as long. This is tea. Today is tea. Yesterday was coffee. Today is tea. I think this is like an Earl Grey, but don't quote me on that. Shit, he's already quoted me on that. Not cool, man. I said don't quote me on that. And what did you go and do? You went and quoted me on that. That's pretty spacey. Let's try that. So this is a super good plugin if you haven't seen it before. It's called Distance. It's free. Like, it's just on the Air Windows website. What it does is, I'll solo this so you can hear what it does at extreme measures. But it's like a combination of like filter, reverb, and like distortion a little bit, and like echo. But it just sounds like you're recording it from really, really far away. It's literally just one slider. But like, you just use it at maybe like... like there, and it just sounds like you're further away from the thing. Really, really good. What I should do is change this to the actual melody that I'm going to use. Alright, and we're back with a new t-shirt, because infant me can't hold a cup of tea, so let's... Fresh tea without tea. You know it. We're getting there. I'm just going to play with these a little bit. And obviously this, because guitars and chorus were made to go together. Actually, a bit of tremolo would be nice on that too, probably. Probably like the drums from the chorus here, actually, so that you get a bit more groove happening. So this should stop earlier. Try a a bit of this, try a bit of Slam Pop on it. Slam Pop's another free plugin. Sort of a sausage fattener. Sausage fattener, distortion. There's one of these as well. Now we'll put in the most important instrument of all, the cowbell. The cowbell. That's a pretty gross cowbell. The grosser the cowbell, the better, I usually say. Because it's not meant to sound nice. It's meant to sound, you know, thuk, 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 thuk. So you want that kind of like, cowbell sound. Why is he using cowbell? More cowbell. I think I want a slight variation on this when I'm playing with that guitar, so that it really just kind of octaves it. So this should mirror the guitar pretty well. Yep, that sounds pretty good. Put these utilities in. We need to find some nice groovy feels that really bring it together. That'll probably be good. Now I said I didn't want to go to 80s, but here we are, going really 80s. I mean, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Find some more percussion to put in as well, I think. I don't like this snare. Let's find another one. A lot of just not being happy with what you're doing and then trying more stuff, and this is what music production is. See if that one sounds better. It's better, but it's not perfect. Maybe if you layer it with another snare, or a clap might do the trick actually. Oh yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Alright, let's play with these sounds a little bit. Just do a bit of a, kind of like a rough mix, just so that when I put the vocals in and stuff, it's going to sound proper. And then obviously some chorus here as well. Because what guitar is complete without chorus? And this guitar basically just needs a compressor. Just needs to be absolutely stomped. So what we've got now is pretty good ground actually for like a whole production. Next weekend we'll have a look at the top line, and we'll look at some lyrics, and we'll look at putting that together, and then yeah, hopefully by this time next week we'll have a fully listenable demo, which will be sick. One thing I did want to add in quickly was the glockenspiel. Maybe I can skip these ones in the middle, I think. Just have it a little bit in the verse there as well. Build it up towards the end. Let's hear how this sounds with the glockenspiel in there. That's good, that just sits up here. That's exactly where we want it. Alright, cool. That glockenspiel, right? That literally made such a difference, hey. Because I had the synth kind of bell in there before, and it just wasn't right. But this glockenspiel, it sits above everything else. It doesn't interfere. Like if you listen to it out of this intro as well. So here's space. We're in space, right? The Glockenspiel just sells it. It literally sells it. So, all right. Well, thanks very much, guys. Remember to, do all this usual stuff. Follow me on socials, all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to have some lunch. I'm going to bounce this out, and we'll pick it up again next week and record a demo vocal and do all that. So that'll be sick. Cheers for checking out this recap. For those of you that are still here, I'll ask you to leave a comment with your favorite wavetable in Serum, and we can have a little bit of discussion about which ones are the best and which ones you use the most, because I find that kind of stuff really interesting. Check out the links on screen and down in the description for all the good stuff that you need. It's got links to my socials, latest singles, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you on the next one.